And joining us on the line again, I guess the first time for 2022, but I don't think it'll be the last. It's great to be chatting to Michael Waugh. How you going?
I'm pretty good, Clayton. How are you?
I'm doing really, really well. How was your festive season, firstly? Did you have a good Christmas and New Year?
That's kind of like a really sore point because it was the season of cancellation of festivals more than anything festive at all, really. It was just like one after another getting done. But, tried to do my best. Drank lots of margaritas in the backyard.
As you do, yes, and well, with that ocean sound that you've got there, I can understand that. Enjoying the margaritas, that all goes really well.
It sounds like the ocean, but it's just air conditioning because it is very hot in Melbourne at the moment, and we're not conditioned to understand the heat like you more hardy stock in South Australia.
Yeah, well, once it hits 40, then I know to take off the jumper and the long trousers. So until then, it's
sounds good.
It's always good to have a laugh when we catch up. It's always been good. And I know it's been tough with all the shows that have been cancelled. And how has it actually been for you? Have you been doing okay?
Yeah. I mean, I think the thing about music for me is that these are, it's part of my community. These are my friends, and so I kind of really missed that. 2021, I think, was a hard year for everyone, and I just really missed people. And I had kind of those dates up in my calendar about times when I could reconnect and have lots of non-socially distanced hugs and catch-ups, and of course that didn't happen. But I'm excited for February because we're getting back out on the road, and essentially I released the record, the cast in the middle of our lockdowns, and the whole tour got cancelled. So I've kind of, as my dad would say, toey as a Roman sandal.
It's an expression I haven't heard for a long time.
I don't think he was referring to touring when he said it.
No, and but I know exactly what you mean by it. But it's just. And that's a funny thing, and because the song that we're going to be hearing from you is about your dad, and the things that our fathers have taught us, and sayings is one of them, and that your dad obviously taught you a lot, and with the sayings, and you say you're a better man because of him, and that, which I think if we can say that about our fathers, then I feel they've done their job, and so I feel the same about my late father as well. But how's it been without him? Because I don't know about you, but festive time, to be honest with you, is the one time when I like to be able to sit there and have a yak with the old man. And for the last few years without him being around, it's just felt really hollow to me. It's like I don't even want to celebrate.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of, I think you summed it up really well. It is that just wanting to sit down and talk to him, and sometimes, big life decisions going on in my world that I want to talk to him about. It's even things like I had a birthday in January as well, and that kind of feeling like the day is somehow incomplete, and then you realise at some point that you're waiting for a phone call from him that's never going to happen. So all that stuff is hard, but I think the thing, this is the second anniversary of Dad's death on the 13th of January this year, so it hasn't gotten easier necessarily, but I think what I've focused on a lot about my dad is his stoicism and his sense of humour, because he was a deeply funny man.
Yeah.
And kind of remembering the funny things and laughing about it. And this song, the He Taught Me song, is kind of at the front end of the song. There's a lot of those kind of little jokes and stuff that and it's one of the few songs that we got to share with an audience before everything locked down from the new record. And it was this great experience in the audience where you heard people kind of laughing, or sometimes nudging the person next to them, going, "Oh, I think that he's talking about you," sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then there's kind of a serious gear shift towards the end of the song, and but I think that there is something about this song that does capture a bit of my dad's sense of humour, and maybe others might recognise some of their own dad in the story too.
I certainly did, and it reminded me of things with my dad. And I mean, one of the things that we used to do this time of year is that we would love to sit down and watch the cricket and have our own little commentary about what we thought the Australian captain should and shouldn't do. And I kind of feel even my relationship with cricket has changed and has altered. And and like the tennis that's on at the moment, and the same. Sport was Mum would sort of look at us like, what are you talking about? So you knew that we were talking a different language that she wasn't understanding, and so I feel that that language I've kind of haven't got it. There's no one to do that with, and that. Do you understand what I mean?
Oh no, definitely. Like my brother and my dad my dad was actually president of the Sale Greyhound Club, and he and my brother had this betting syndicate, and they just used to talk like pure. I don't know, like they used to talk pure TAB or something. It was just like this series of odds and stuff that I just did not understand. They could talk about it for hours, I had kind of a different relationship with my dad. I was kind of the deeply unco member of our family. Like, I was the kid most prone to injuring my father on the farm rather than the one who was helping. There was one time we did we're doing hay carting, and there was this had this conveyor belt that was like a trailer on the back of the tractor, and like you'd put the bale of hay down on the bottom, it would kind of conveyor it up to the tray of the truck at the top. And he got me to unhook it from the back of the tractor, and I pulled it up too high, and it came down and knocked him on the head and knocked him unconscious in the back paddock. So yeah, that was me. So I kind of lacked the finesse and sporting vocabulary that my brothers did, but loved him nonetheless.
Well, we do. We love with our dads, and we certainly do miss them. And so when you're performing this song as you have in the past, I know you've got a gig coming up soon at the Trinity Sessions on Sunday the 6th of February. Is this one of those songs that you've got to strategically place it in your set? It's kind of like it still knocks me around a bit. So I kind of usually do place it next to a couple of the funny songs. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, but I still it's kind of become. It was really interesting. The very first time that I played it, I said, "This is from a record that's not out for another 3 months," and then about 50 people wanted to buy that record because of this one song. So it was kind of really interesting the way that people connected with it really quickly, and it's a very special song for me anyway. Regardless of how anybody else connects to it, I kind of lose myself in the story of him a bit. Yeah. Have you found yourself at times looking in the mirror and going, "Oh, I'm starting to look like him"? And have you had those moments, or you're sitting in the chair and you just move your body in a certain way, and you go, "This is what Dad used to do. I'm like my father. I'm turning into him." Because that's
I wish I was that good looking, mate. No. It's really. There's a video that we've just made for this song, which has got kind of it's like a montage of images of Dad's life, kind of moving from when he was young to to the literally 3 days before he passed, and there's this, he's a spitting image for my little brother who also just passed away. But it's really there was a picture of Dan just before he died, and I swore that it was my dad. It was I kind of look a little bit more like my mum. So yeah.
Well, it's something I'm going to be looking forward to, is seeing the video, because I was about to ask you that, because normally when you do a song, you do a video. So when is the video coming out?
It'll be coming out on Friday. So yeah, with the release of the song. So yeah, we've got I don't know. It's very simple. It's just me kind of sitting in an empty space, kind of singing, and really the focus is on kind of just honouring his story, because that's what this song's about. It's about celebrating a deeply funny, hard-working, wise man who left school when he was in year 9 because his parents couldn't afford for him to stay at school any longer, just worked his whole bloody life and cared for my mum when she got really sick, and then kind of stoically went through this horrific illness that ended up taking his life, and just laughed and found reasons to make people laugh every day of his life.
Yeah, the reference you made to pulling the don't pull the finger. Yeah, my dad was the same. So yeah, I can understand that.
Yeah, good. Yeah.
So, Michael, during this time, have you also been writing? Have you got some new material that you've been working on?
Yeah, that's kind of like a new direction. I've kind of been exploring some of the stuff that I've been writing, but there's kind of been the summer. I think that's the gift of summer, like when you don't kind of travel. Like it's about kind of being still and being with your feelings a bit, and and playing music to kind of which is how I make sense of the world.
Yeah, and writing stories about some of the people that you meet as well.
Yeah, definitely.
I think your notebook with all the characters in there would be a fun one to sort of peruse one day.
Well, that's the thing. Like I really, it's the thing that I miss about the travelling and stuff. I really do love people. I love meeting new people, and I love kind of connecting with them, and that's lots of my writing does come from those kind of conversations sometimes, or things that they remind me of.
So we've got the Trinity Sessions that'll be in Adelaide, so it's on Sunday the 6th of February, so it's good that you'll be over for those. Yeah,
with Pete Titchener, he's opening the show, so he's bloody great. I got to do a bit of a tour with Pete, with Eric Vogel. He's a very bloody funny man, so I'm looking forward to people seeing him too.
And then you're hitting the road, I see here on the list in front of me, with some shows, hopefully all going well with those. And will you be coming back this way into SA at some stage later in the year?
I bloody hope so. Yeah. I have. I haven't been to South Australia since I think 2018, something like that. So I really am looking forward to coming back, and hopefully it'll be again sometime soon. I know we had a show at Wombat Flat at the barn. And so hopefully we'll be able to organise that soon. That'd be great.
We certainly hope so. The new material that you've been writing and working on, when are you likely to be recording that so we can get to hear it?
Yeah, probably I've probably got about 6 months worth of rescheduled shows to do.
Not that old excuse.
Yeah, I'm imagining that I'll be recording sometime in the latter part of this year.
Okay, well, we've got to wait that long then, okay.
Yeah. We're kind of talking about where we might take it to record, so who knows, maybe even overseas an experience, so all part of the adventure. Yes,
if we're allowed to travel overseas, that'll be a good thing, so we'll worry about that another day. Well, Michael, I love chatting with you, and I feel I could keep going on and on, but we want to hear this song, and I know the folks listening are going to really, they'll be able to relate to it. It doesn't necessarily have to be about their dad. It can be about someone very close to them, and they'll certainly understand the message and all that. And it's a song that's resonated with me, and I know many others, and it's just one of the brilliant songs that you write, mate. So you seem to find a way. So I think the master songwriter, I've heard you being called by some very well-known names. So yeah, you do it. I must give you your website a plug too, which is michaelwaugh.com.au. And of course, folks, look out for the Warhead T-shirts. They're a fashion accessory.
Are you wearing one right now, Clayton?
Well, if it only could fit me a bit more snugly, it would be. But the Warhead T-shirts, you've got to get one. It is the fashion accessory. It's not Versace, it's not Armani, it's Warhead. So just remember that. You need to get these shirts. They're the must-have of the season. That's all I can say.
Thanks, Clayton. Thank you.
Anytime, my friend, anytime. All right, looking forward to catching up soon as well. We've got your song here ready to go, mate. Thank you so much for spending time with us. I know it won't be the only time for this year. I look forward to next time. Yeah. We've got the song here. If you could please introduce it for all our Flow listeners.
Yeah, this is Michael Waugh on Flow FM with Clayton, and this is my new single, He Taught Me.
He taught me how to start a fire, how to change the keys, how not to make them grind. He taught me how to order Chinese food and ask him for a knife and fork when you don't know how the chopsticks work. He taught me how to crack a joke and why you never pull his finger, how to be a decent bloke. He taught me how to steal a toddler's nose and when to put it back again. That's what makes the grizzles go. He taught me not to cry, He taught me to be gentle, how to change the subject when it gets too sentimental. All about the way it works and how it's meant to be. Humanity and humor is what he taught to me. He taught me to stand for what is true. He taught me car rides full of limericks, and all of them were rude. He taught me how to keep a level head, how to hug someone you love after there's an argument. He taught me how to work too hard and how to climb through fences, how to be a tight ass, how to be too generous, how to like the barbecue and overcook the meat. Integrity and fairness is what he taught to me. He taught me in those final days how to give a man his dignity when his body wastes away. He taught me to plaster on a smile, talk about the footy while you watch your father die. He taught me when to let things go and when to fight things bravely, how to hide your face when you can't keep the pain in. He'd probably say to walk it off. That's what a man should do. So I'm learning to be tough, getting through this stuff, learning I'm enough, 'cause it's what he taught me.